Welcome to On Point Heartland Edition. James Delmar opens today, Saratoga next week. We're putting our focus on the crossroads of America. It's Indiana Derby weekend, a few big races at Indiana Grand, including the big Indiana Derby. And I wanted to highlight it because I think the two favorites are vulnerable and chance at a price.
Absolutely, I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, Cherry Wine, one-run closer. You know, he hasn't won, I think, since January. I mean, good second in the Preakness, but that came on a sloppy track. Cupid, he's got to overcome not only the outside post, but he comes off a real poor effort at Beaumont where he ran last. And I know Baffert has, said, he expects him to run better, but, he's got to prove it to me. And at short odds, I don't want any part of that.
Yep, absolutely agree. You mentioned the outside post for Cherry Wine. Star Hill also marooned outside again.
And he'll get that down.
Yeah, I mean, he's one I'm somewhat interested in, but the player is one I'm really interested in for Buff Bradley.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I was there for his allowance win, and to me it shades of, we've seen this before with Buff. He did it with Groupie Dow, who won the Gardenia against Older as a 3-year-old around this time of year. Saw it with Brass Hat, who won the Ohio Derby as a 3-year-old this time of year. Just seems like when he has these good ones, this is how he brings them along. Indiana Derby fits. The timing's right to upset a couple. I mean, I understand why they're the favorites, but they're not for me at those prices.
Absolutely, and I've seen both those races. I saw the maiden win and the allowance win at Churchill, and especially after that allowance win, that was a pretty salty field that had a couple nice horses in there.
One of the Romans.
One of the Romans. A couple horses that have been potentially on the Unbridled Outlaw, on the Derby Trail, and just the way he finished both times, I thought was strong and powerful. Definitely gave the impression that he's of stakes quality, and he's got good tactical speed. I thought that was really a thing in that field. That race doesn't have a lot of pace in it, whereas Indiana Oaks appeared to have more speed to me on paper. So I really can envision the player getting a favorable trip, and definitely like his chances.
Yeah, and for me, with the Maltese, anytime you can beat some obvious favorites, you're in a good position. The Indiana Oaks is the race before the Derby and is part of two pick fours. One starts in race 5, another in race 6. The one in race 6 ends with the Indiana Derby. And to me, family meeting, the Iowa Oaks winner, Florent Giroux, sticks aboard. Wayne Catalano, that's the favorite I prefer in the sequence. I think she looks super tough.
She looks tough. I mean, Baffert has a filly in there, MZ, that's shipping in, that I think will get some action as well. But I really thought that Dream Dance comes off an allowance race. She was too far back in the Kentucky Oaks, but I thought she brought improving form into that race off a good allowance win at Keeneland. I thought in that allowance race, she ran against Ready to Confess and Family Tree at Churchill Downs last time. I thought she was in the midst of a winning move up the rail, coming off the far turn, when Hernandez went into a spot that was just too tight. I thought there might be an inquiry. There wasn't. Family Tree came over a little bit, I thought, shut her off, totally stopped her momentum. I thought that that was a real troubled effort that provided opportunity for some decent value at her next start, and going to get it, I think, tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, if you thought that was a winning move, you'd say, well, it's a key race because Family Tree went on to win the Iowa Oaks.
Going away.
So, yeah, the form is certainly there. I'll stick with the chalk, but certainly keep your thoughts in mind for the Maltese. Any other thoughts on the Indiana Grand card?
No, just, I'm really going to start. I'm going to look at, I've looked at those two races, going to look at the rest of the card this evening.
Yeah, and early on the card, Brooklyn Sway, older filly Zamaras on the Brisnet rating, she towers over him. Might be an opportunity, to me, even 3-2, she looks like she fits that group. So something earlier to look at. Only other race for me, I wanted to mention Delaware Handicap. I'm a chatterbox, certainly, will be the favorite. I'm really nervous about the weight she's giving these fillies and mares. I do not understand how, with the one grade 1 win, she is having to give this kind of weight at a 1.25 miles, but she is. And to me, in addition to other reasons, but I mean, that to me is she's going to be vulnerable at even money. Money's on Charlotte for Kelly Breen. I think getting in at 111 has a chance to stick around at a 1.25 miles.
Yeah, I agree. I'm a chatterbox. I did not like her first race of the year too much, the Double Dog Dare. Obviously, she looked good winning that Obeah, but she didn't really beat that much, stretching out to 1.25 miles. I mean, she's the class of the field. I'm sort of have a negative take against Paid Up Subscriber. I thought, when Untappable failed to show up and Not Chocolate, she really didn't beat much in that Fleur-de-Lis last time. And, so I'm a chatterbox. I was looking at Penworth a little bit for McLaughlin on the outside. I think she's got a chance to post an upset there. But if she doesn't win, I definitely won't be playing the chatterbox paid-up subscriber exacta.
Yeah, no question. And there are a few other stakes. The Kents after that, Chad Brown shipping one in looks somewhat interesting. So could be a chance to blow things up if you beat the top two in the Delaware Handicap, which is my plan. Anything at Del Mar this weekend?
Now, just I'm looking forward to, there's a horse, Ohio. He was entered in the Wicker on Saturday. They're going to scratch him and run him in Eddie Reed. I had seen that last race, went back, was watching, for the Oceanside. A horse of Drysdale had run against him last time. And, he's intriguing to me a little bit in Eddie Reed on Sunday. But, still going to do some more handicapping there.
All right. Well, I'll be out next week, so unfortunately won't be able to talk about the Coaching Club American Oaks with you. But it's much of a race I've looked forward to in a long time. Showdown, truly. Songbird, Karina Mia. Winner will be leader of the division, assuming one of them wins.
Absolutely. I mean, what a great matchup. I mean, Songbird, there's nothing I can really add about her, but that Karina Mia, I mean, her race in the Acorn I thought was excellent, and the fact that Off the Tracks came back and won the Mother Goose like that, and she beat Catherine Sophia in there, really, really a good up-and-coming filly for Bill Mott. So it's a great test between arguably the top 2 3-year-old fillies on both coasts.
Absolutely. All right, well, you'll talk about that next week with Vance, as well as whatever happens this week on Turf Talk earlier in the week. Join James then. I'll be back in 2 weeks. Enjoy the races.